How are you, George? All right?
All right, Ben, yeah.
And how's everyone else?
Very good.
Fine,
I've just started the recording just to test out the recording. Okay, so you're all being recorded. So anything you say now will be taken down and used against you in evidence.
Well, I'm in Barbados, so you won't be able to.
So did you take that picture behind you? Did you take that with you on holiday, do you? That picture behind you? I'm sure that was the same picture last week.
It's all that moving out of university.
Yeah, there's somebody else trying to get in now. Oh, it's Paul.
Hello there.
Hi, Paul.
Hiya.
Mike Dorsey has left the meeting. Stuart, we still can't hear you.
Oh, where's Gavin?
I'm not speaking yet.
Oh, we can hear you now.
Oh, yeah, there he is. He's back.
Oh, yeah, it's Dave.
Hello.
I was going to ring you this morning, Dave.
He's in Barbados.
Yes, here I am in Barbados. Lovely.
Yeah. We're all in the same apartment.
I'm upstairs.
Yeah.
It was a cheap holiday, Barbados.
Yeah. It's the nearest I'll get to it.
Where you going, George?
He's going downstairs to Mike's room. Oh, he's back.
I was just going to get me, what's her name, in Barbados,
What, hearing aid?
It's going well.
Oh, look, it's in Barbados, man. I'm in Barbados.
Folks.
Very
It's
PT.
Good golly, he's got a walk.
Right.
Oh, where's Robert? Hello, Robert.
All right.
Robert.
He's in Australia. He's in Australia.
Hello, Gavin.
Jamie from Australia.
Jamie. Are you in Australia, Jamie?
No, I'm in the kitchen.
Well, why are you upside down?
Put your
Put your phone the other way around.
Leave him alone. He wants to do what he wants to do.
He's standing on he's using his head.
Listen, George, can you let Gavin say something today? You take over and pour up.
Yeah.
There we go. Is that better?
Yeah, that's it, Jake.
No, put it back.
What the hell is that? Come on.
Hello, Jamie.
Hiya, Keith. All right, sir?
All right, yeah.
You all right, Jamie?
Hello?
Right.
Take the sound. All right, George.
Somebody else coming in.
Yeah. Dave.
Another David.
David.
David watching. All right, Dave.
Hello, David.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
All good children go to heaven. Hello, Gavin.
Hello, Vinny. Gavin.
How are you? My spuds are doing well.
Are they?
Yeah, they're growing now, quite good.
Rubbish.
Pass them up with soil. George.
Why have you put your chair in front of the bookshelf so you trying to look intelligent?
No, this is the spare bedroom. It's the computer room.
It's the woman's realm. Take no notice.
There's Jeff.
Hello, Jeff.
Jeffrey.
You all right, Jeff?
Can hear you, Jeff.
There's Gavin.
Go on, a bit louder.
So what's new?
Not a great deal. Not much at all, really. Same as everything. He didn't let anything go yesterday, did he? So it was still.
I know, but there's more to come today, isn't there? There's a 50-page document.
Oh, right, yeah. Full of ball, no doubt.
Wait and see. Be patient.
Yeah. Can't be patient with him. He's a waste of space.
Whose clock's that?
Big Ben.
What?
In the background.
Big Ben clock. Whose clock's that?
That'll be Robert's, that.
Where's Michael gone?
I think he's gone in the garden.
He's doing some gardening.
All right.
Yeah. You can't see my
Dominic,
photograph of them, can you?
I can see you.
People have dropped off.
Is Jeff gone again? Jeff's gone again.
Yes, Jamie and Chris.
Jeff comes and goes.
There's Chris.
Hello,
Another
Chris.
fellow sounding looking intelligent sitting in front of the case.
Mr. Bacon's arrived here with his mobile bookcase.
Yeah, they've all got them now, haven't they?
Oh,
Slide
they sound looking intelligent, you
That's
see.
it, just
So last week I could see my photograph on there.
I'll turn mine and look. I'm in the office. See?
You're working from home then?
Yeah, that's right.
There we go. Okay, on.
Is Jeff gone again?
No.
back now,
Yeah.
Jamie.
Jamie's back.
Yeah.
I think we've
Yeah,
got
I'm back.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chris.
Afternoon.
That's a nice window.
Mike's outside, is he?
Oh, he's there. You can't see him.
That's quite nice. Ah, what's he doing? What's our leader doing?
He's
He's like
having
bloody
a,
Boris Johnson.
he's
He wants
having
to
a
go to the toilet, he said.
conversation with one.
He's like Boris Johnson. He can't make his mind up.
I think he said he was going to the toilet.
Oh, of course. As long as he doesn't take his camera with him.
So, oh, Jeffrey's back. Hello, Jeffrey, back again.
Yeah.
Turn your microphone on, Jeff.
Yeah. Jeffrey, we can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Jeffrey.
Oh, here he is. Hello, Michael.
Good afternoon.
Jeffrey's here, but we can't. Jeffrey's here, but we can't hear him.
Can we hear Jeff? Do a little trick with the phone.
Sleep.
Embarrassing. Steve, can we hear you?
You can hear me now, though, can you?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
okay, that's great.
Yes, you can hear me now.
Stuart, can we hear you? Stuart,
I can hear you, but you can't hear me, obviously.
I can hear you now.
Oh, can you?
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
You can hear me
Yes,
now?
Jeffrey.
yes. And I can hear Stuart. So everybody, we can hear everybody. How many have you got? 5, 10. You got 13. Where is everybody
Oh,
else?
that was it.
Well, Frank
That's pretty good.
Blackburn's on his way back from Clatterbury's. They're running late, apparently.
Okay.
So he said he'll try and get back in time.
Okay. Hello, David.
Sorry,
Hello, David. David Taylor's on.
Yeah.
I'm here. Yeah.
Hello, David.
Hello.
Hasn't David Taylor got a posh garden?
Yeah, do you like it?
Yeah, nice.
They're all like that on the Wirral.
Yeah.
Where's Johnny G?
I don't know. I tried to phone him a couple of times, but he's not answering.
I have as well, and no answer. So
Yeah. Go
hopefully,
straight to his messaging.
yeah. Well, he's in
Jeffrey,
the-
are you on a boat, Jeffrey? You on a boat?
He's on his iPhone. Yes, he's using
he's
his
on the
iPhone.
coast, George. He's
He's on a
Turn
boat.
your audio on, Jeff. Turn your audio on.
He's got his thumb up with the
Yes,
microphone.
but Jeff's phone is dodgy, so he has to turn it. He can either hear us or he can speak to us. He can't do both. So
Right.
he turns off his audio so as he can hear us, and then if he needs to speak, he has to turn it back on again. So
What he's got to do is he's got to say what he wants to say and then say over.
over, yes, I
You
over.
can hear
Yeah.
me now, though, boys, can you?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you now, Jeff. Yes,
Can you hear
yes,
me now?
yeah.
yes.
Yes, you
Over.
can.
We've
Right,
got
well,
both
I'll
of you now.
turn it back again, and I'll just listen to you guys.
Okay. Okay, so we know that you're listening, but you can't talk and listen at the same time.
Mike,
Yes, Vinny.
why don't you have a word with Jeff? Tell him there's loads of sales on for phones at the moment. New iPhones.
I know.
There's loads
Mike,
of them.
can you just ask something? Will Jeff be like this when we get back to the shed? We can't hear them and talk at the same time.
Yeah, that's right.
Last week we talked about we would wait to find out what Boris came up with to see if he changed our plans. What are people's views on that? And
Say that again, Mike. Sorry.
last week we were talking about doing the questionnaire and pushing ahead on the independent shed, and Vinny suggested, and we all agreed, that we wait to hear what the government came up with yesterday and today about the lockdown and all the other things before we made our minds up. So we know what the government's going to do now.
Yeah, basically nothing.
Mike, Boris didn't mention anything about the sheds in his speech last night.
He did. He just didn't use those words.
You know,
That's what he meant.
Do you think, Mike?
Yes.
Do you think there'll be anything more in this 50-page document? Will that help us anymore, do you think, or not?
No. I think the reading the bits that I've read, each organisation is going to be incumbent on them to meet certain criteria so as they can go back into work. I don't think we're anywhere near that within them.
Nowhere near.
At least a month, maybe 2 months away.
Yeah.
I don't think we need
I tell you what, I don't think Age UK will let us back in until they got a vaccine.
I don't know. But in terms of the work we were doing on independent sheds, what are the thoughts on that? Do you want to hold off? Do you want to push forward?
I think we should push forward, Mike.
Go for it. Go for
Yeah,
it.
go
Get
for
the
it.
questionnaire out.
Did
Go for it,
anybody
Mike.
read the email from Christine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it a television.
So say again, Chris, please.
Did anybody read the email from Christine?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, she's in that email. She did talk about the sheds reopening. I mean, I don't know how to. I didn't know quite how to read that.
No.
I speak
Don't
to her.
commit themselves, Chris.
I speak to her most days, and her view is that we would need things like in Ellesmere. We've talked about Ellesmere Port specifically because that's my responsibility. Talked about having the rear door as the exit and the front door as the entrance, and you can't go out the front. You have to come in the front and out the back. We talked about having separate benches with social distancing and all those things. So I think it's doable. It just means that you might take the view that the number of people coming in would be more than the number of people we could accommodate. You might take the view that no one's going to turn up because they're frightened. So I think the next step will be, I will be told to make it. What's that fucking squeak?
Yeah.
Is that your chair, Vinny?
It's Jeffrey.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I can explain.
The next step.
No, it's my
Don't
wife.
bother, Vinny. Don't bother.
No, it's my wife. It's my wife with my electric drill. She's playing in the back kitchen. Stop squeaking, he said. Right, she's put it down now.
Thanks for that, Vinny. Thanks for that,
Okay.
Vinny. Can you tell her that Chris said it so she doesn't beat me up next time she sees me?
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll be told, this 50-page document that's come out, I imagine we'll have some idea about how you will be certified to reopen. So I'll be then.
Can I phone you back later?
George?
We're actually, what's the name of the moment?
So we'll be told, I'll be told what standards that I have to meet to be able to open the shed. And then once I've done that in terms of clearly labeling the ins and the outs, having marks on the floor, having a bench for each person so as you're not close to 6 feet. If we can get to that point, then in theory we could say, right, we're open for business. But there's two possibilities depending on your thought. It could be, number one, nobody wants to come because they're still frightened that they'll get the virus, or you could take the opposite view that too many people will come, so we won't be able to we'll have to sort of ration it. And I don't know which way we go on that. I'd be glad to hear your.
Well, I think rationing is probably the logical thing, because you're only going to, everybody's going to have their own bench, you're only going to have about 8 people, 10 people maybe at the max there, aren't you? So
Yes,
maybe
that's it, yeah.
each group could have a day of a week, and maybe open on a Friday as well, or Saturday and Sunday. Obviously, it's up to you, Mike.
I
I
think
mean,
that's
it seems
also-
to say
available there.
approach, really, having a couple of, 8 people a day or something, and take it in turns. That seems the most equitable way of doing things, really.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Or having a morning and an afternoon.
Yeah.
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 You'd have to create some sort of a one-way system in there.
Work on the bench outside.
Yeah. Well, as long as the weather allows you, yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Mike?
Depends, I mean.
Yes, Vinny.
Could I book George's bench? I've always wanted to work on
Somebody should work on it.
Hi, Sandra.
Hello, Sandra.
Okay, Frank.
Yeah, so all those thoughts, I think we'll end up with a combination of all your thoughts that we've just shared, that we probably will be able to open, but the shed will have to be redesigned somewhat.
And the sound's not so great. You're gonna need your earplugs, Frank.
Frank, put your earplugs.
I've just muted it. So, and it'd be a combination of things, that whether we do rationing, whether your surname's A to F or whatever, we'll have to work something out between us. But at least we got this medium. At least we got Zoom to discuss it. But it's still very early in the day, really.
Could we initially do it on a social basis rather than actually doing work? Just go down there for a cup of tea or something and.
Well, that would certainly allow us to be a bit. Have more people, if you like.
One of the problems you're going to have is, okay, you've got maybe 5 or 6 people or 8 people at a bench. They're going to be wandering around getting tools or getting wood.
If you go down to a cup of tea, you're going to be sitting together. At least they'll be.
No, you could sit apart as long as you're 2 meters apart.
Yeah, the tea room would be a bit of a problem, wouldn't it?
That's what I mean. So
you have somebody going in there just to make the tea, and then dish it up.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the mess area just doesn't work.
No.
We would end up having to have something like the pool area as a tea area or something, and just put a piece of plywood across the table and use that because there's enough room, or the gym or something. But the mess room just doesn't work. It's just, just coming in and out of the mess room, you're breaking the rules. So, but it's not for today. It's probably going to be another 4 or 8 weeks before we get to that stage.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
If it's all we really need is, another couple of hot spots from the, and they'll just rewind the whole thing again, So it's it's like plaiting fog, isn't it? We just don't know.
Yeah. It's an unknown area, that, isn't it?
So changing the subject a little bit, then, is it worth then sending out the questionnaire so as we can? Right, we got.
Yeah, absolutely.
The challenge is we need to get people. We need to show people the questionnaire, and we need to explain what each of the questions means. Now, the easiest way to do it is, for me, for example, if I go in now, if I could go in now, and you can see my email now, right? Now, all I need to do is, instead of showing you my email, I could show you the form. And we could have the form on the screen. It's called sharing the screen. You could have the form on the screen, and then we could all go through each question one at a time, and then you could answer the questions on your own. That's the most efficient way of doing it, but we won't get everybody. So if we got, say, 20 people that way, we could then post out the forms to the other people, or we could record that meeting and put that on Facebook, which I think George suggested, and YouTube, which I think George and Vinny suggested last time. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, if you
And
share
then
the
if it
screen,
goes
you
on
can
Why
show
can't
what's
you,
going
Mike?
on.
Why can't you just I know it's going to cost, but why can't you just post one to people?
Because
Say,
you can't answer questions in the post. If we go on this, we can.
No, so you can fill us in and send it back.
Well, the idea was if we had it on Zoom and we shared it and we all discussed it and explained the questions, people could then fill the form in, knowing we're all in the same place, and send it to me.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But using Zoom gives us the opportunity to explain the questions, because
Yeah, that's a
people
good
that I've
idea,
had
Mike.
back
Yeah.
make me think that the questions aren't particularly clear. So we need to explain.
YouTube would be all right, Mike. You put it on YouTube.
Yeah,
You've got your own thing, haven't you, on YouTube, under Mike Dorsey?
Yeah. So we can.
You put it on there, and it gives you time to read it. Then you see.
Yeah.
And then you can put the answers, write the answers yourself, and I'll tell you what you think.
We do it live on Zoom. We do it like we are now. We go through it on Zoom with the form in front of us, and then you could go away and fill in the form at your leisure. But at least we've explained the questions to everybody.
Yeah. But you
Maybe
can also put the
next
form
Monday we should go through the form
on YouTube.
perhaps.
Sorry, David, what was that?
Maybe next Monday we should go through the form.
Okay.
Does that sound sensible to everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then it can go out, and if there's any queries, you know, they can come back to one of us who's gone through it.
Is there anyone on this call that hasn't got an email address? Right. So what I'll do is that's a great idea, David. What I'll do beforehand, I'll send the form out electronically to everybody that I've got an email address for, which is presumably all of you guys. And then you'll have, not only will you have the form in front of you, but you'll have the form as a hard copy on your desk if you've got a printer. So you'll be able to have the form as well as me sharing the form, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we'll see how that goes. You know, if we get 20 responses, that's 20 is better than none, you know.
I mean, I think 20 would be a good response, to be honest. You know, if you have 20.
Because what we're looking for is a representation of what the guys want.
Yeah.
And it may be acceptable, it would be up to you guys to say, well, we've had 25 responses, that is representative of the shed. Or, no, it's not, we need 65 responses. It will be up to you to make that decision, but at least, you know, it gives us an option.
Yeah.
We may not get back together again in the next couple of months, you know.
I wouldn't expect miracles. I mean, let's face it, I'm not going to be specific, but 37% of the electorate voted for something not so long ago, and that's hardly representative, really, is it? So if we get 20, I think that's quite reasonable.
Okay, well, I will do that. I'll send the questionnaire out to everyone I've got an email for. If any of you've got other emails, please share it. And then on Monday, I'll put it on the screen and we'll talk through it. It won't take more than 20 minutes, I wouldn't have thought. But some of the questions, there's 2 or 3 of the questions on it are absolutely fundamental to how we want the thing to move forward. And if people don't understand the subtlety of the question, then we could have all sorts of stupid results. So we need to do that. Any comments on that?
No, sounds a good plan, that, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish it was mine. I've told Age UK, because I have a conference call on Tuesday with Christine and with Christine's boss. And I've told them that that's the sort of thing we were looking to do. They were very, very surprised that we had 22 people on a Zoom meeting last week. They're quite surprised at that. I think
just goes to say that. Sorry, Mike.
Go ahead, David.
To say that we're ahead of the game in Ellesmere Port, doesn't it? Basically.
I think the guys in Ellesmere Port always have been. To truth, you know, I think the guys have always been very dynamic, very, very positive. So And of course, it's also difficult for the other sheds because their coordinators have all been furloughed. So that doesn't help, you know. So, okay, I'll do that. Graham's made it. Good.
Sounds good.
Who's the Galaxy JR? Is that Bruce, is it?
It's me, yeah.
Oh, hello, Bruce.
You're
I'm
just a
glad
silhouette, Bruce. You're just a
Who's that
silhouette.
shouting, hello, Bruce? You look like you're in the Sicilian mafia.
That's what I am.
Hello, Graham.
Hi, Graham.
Oh, he's just dropped out. Come on, Graham, back you come.
Mike, could you probably put some of the questions on that questionnaire? Could you put guidance notes alongside them?
Chris, that's what you would do in a normal environment. You would do that, wouldn't you?
I mean, just to sort of describing what they mean in a few words.
Yes. Okay. I'll do that. I just don't want to make it more cumbersome, if you like. But yeah, I'll do.
I mean, just on those questions that, as you say, the subtlety of them.
Yeah.
Can have quite a different meaning.
There's only about 3, isn't there? There's only about 3.
There is only 3
questions.
Yeah. I mean, if you could just put some sort of little guidance note alongside saying, you know, this is what this means.
Okay, I'll do that.
We're going to when we come on again, we're going to discuss it anyway. So any questions, people can say, I'm not sure on that. What do you think? And then get guidance that way, surely.
Yeah, at the Zoom meeting.
I'll put.
Yeah, but some of them, Vinny, might not be able to get on Zoom.
Right. See what you're saying, Chris. Yeah.
I'll do those 3. I'll do those 3 little paragraphs just
those 3.
Yeah. Okay. I'm happy to do that. Anything that makes it more straightforward. Okay, so that's what we'll do next week. I was going to ask if you want to carry on with the calls, but obviously you do want to carry on with the calls because we're going to do that next week. So anything else anyone wants to bring up?
Yeah, I was, Vinny again, I was talking to Kevin half an hour ago.
Wonderful.
Yeah, he sounds upbeat from the last time I spoke to him. Obviously he wants to get out. He's still on this lockdown for another 4 weeks, he said. So. But yeah, he sounds better in himself and he's sounding a bit more cheerful.
Can we not get him on Zoom, Vinny?
No, they don't want him to get involved.
I was talking to him yesterday and Norma, and they said it's not really worth it. It's too much for the faffing about, especially if their Dan's not there as well. Yeah. And then he's got the carers coming in and out. But he said he hasn't. I was talking to Kevin. He said he hasn't been out much because if Dan's not there, he's got to lift him up and take him, put him in the chair and get him in and out. And Norma said he's just too heavy for her if she's on her own, So, but apart from that, as Vinny said, he's quite upbeat in himself, but he's fed up.
Yeah,
I bet he is.
But there's millions around the world the same. They're all gagging, aren't they, to get out? But his time will come. We'll sort him. Yeah, we'll sort him.
Well, I've told him when this lockdown's down, we'll go down and get this ramp fixed for him if we can, so we can get him out.
And can I just say something? I was telling the wife about the ramp and everything, and she said that should have been sorted with his care package when he went home.
Oh, he'd have to pay for it. He'd have to pay for it, Vin.
Oh, they put a care package before they let you home. Yeah. They put a care package in position, and you've got to adhere to that.
Yeah.
The physios do it.
Involve the ramp.
Usually do it from the hospital. They come out and inspect your home first.
Yeah. You're spot on, Keith. That's how it. The physios, they're the ones that do it.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who know you can't move round. Yeah. So really, the ramp side of it, okay, we can do it. It's not a problem that we can do it. But that should be in hand, really. But
he's not having physio now, Vin.
Hey?
They're not even giving him physio anymore.
It's not about having physio. It's about, I know it was a bit of a rush to get him home, but everyone that has a stroke or whatever in hospital, the physios I'm telling you what my wife says. The physios have a big say in it, and as Keith just said, yes, they do come out and inspect and everything, and everything in theory has got to be done before they get home. Okay,
yeah, I think Norma's gone down that road. She's looked into it.
I know she has,
Yeah,
because
he done it for me when I
Dan was sort of
before I
dealing with
went
that as
home.
well, because he's in the NHS.
Yeah.
I think he said, is it occupational therapy we're involved in that, and
Yeah,
the house and all of that. So you're right, Vinny, but I think they have been around that loop, if you know what I mean.
Right.
I'm sure. In fact, I'm sure they have.
I think in normal times that is fine, but we're not living in normal times. That
Yeah, you're probably right.
people are off sick and stuff like that, and people are furloughed. So things that would normally be done just aren't going to get done. And it's right across the board. It's like DWP at the moment, that they're doing no applications for various benefits. The only thing they're focusing on is universal credit. They just haven't got the staff or the resources to do anything else. And one of my neighbours, who was actually in work, they had somebody with a cough and a cold, and of course that was it. They sent them all home, and they're all working from home now. So, but actually getting that to work was horrendously difficult for them as well, because their IT systems are crap. So it's just not normal at the moment. Things just aren't going as we would normally accept, really. So it's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
Johnny G with us today, Mike?
No.
No.
I think Finney's tried him and Chris has tried him with no response.
Just go straight to his answering machine.
Yeah.
He's 70 on Thursday.
Yeah, he's probably celebrating now.
No, well, you seen that picture he put on last week? There was a picture of a bottle.
Oh yeah.
So can't you draw your own conclusions from that?
Yeah, the Jack Daniels one.
That's correct. Correct. Never mind.
Anything else, guys?
Just had a phone call from Peter, and he's fine. So I had a good chat, about various things. So he's fighting fit, but he's not involved in the technology, so obviously he can't. He's not keen to do that, so he's not going to be joining us. But he's well, and as far as I can see, from what he's aware, everybody else is okay. So nothing untowards happened to anyone, which is a good sign, really. So.
I've been taking paper copies of things round to Peter, because I know he hasn't even got a smartphone. So I've been taking paper copies round. If I go to Aldi or whatever, I just pop over and give him a copy, just to keep him in the loop, because
in the loop, yeah.
Listen, lads, can I just say something? Can somebody get in touch with Barry and tell him that I'm dead?
Yeah,
I get emails off him every bloody day.
I thought you were, George.
George, the only reason I'd love to do that for you, George, but the only reason I can't is because I've already told him I'm dead.
Wouldn't it be easier to terminate his contract?
Who's going to take your photograph, George?
What?
Who's going to take your photograph if he's dead?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need him, George. I spoke to Jack Smallwood. He's fine. He's
For this lot, look. my body said, man, and there's more there.
Right, that's built a bookcase for Mark.
If any of you have spoken to anybody, can just drop me a little email just to tell me who they are, so as I can record.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
I
Chris.
just had a phone call from Sue while it was on here.
What were you saying, Chris, about?
No, I just saying I speak to Frank a couple of times a week, and he's fine. He's now venturing out a bit on his own. He drives to Aldi early in the morning to do his shopping.
Who's that?
Frank Smallwood. So he's fine. His main concern is F1.
Jack, you mean?
Jack.
Oh, Jack.
Jack. He, his main concern is his F1 magazine hasn't come this month. So he's a bit worried about that. But otherwise, he's fine. He's what's he, 95 in October.
Yeah.
Next time,
Amazing, isn't it?
give him my regards.
Yeah, will do, Keith. I do that anyway. I tell him everybody sends their regards to him.
Yeah.
But he, I was just wondering if we're still in lockdown and the shed's not open, whether there's anything we could do. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think if there's something we could do. Do we have an address for him? I presume we do.
Jack, yeah.
I mean, if a few of us could just go along and social distance and stand outside and wish him happy birthday or something.
Yeah.
You know.
Great.
He has got family, hasn't he?
He has got family, yeah, but
You'll have to give me his phone number, Chris, so I can give him a ring.
yeah. I don't think he wants to hear from you, though, George.
No, he said to
He never asked for you.
Me and Jack come from the same neighbourhood.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to go down that road.
Really posh neighbourhood it was.
But no, he's fine. Jack's fine.
Good.
If anyone needs his address, just let me know.
I'll just want his phone number, Mike. Give him a ring, have a chat to him.
Okay, drop me a text and I'll send it back to you.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway,
Tell
Jeff,
Barry,
how are
tell
you? I
Barry
haven't heard much from you.
Oh, sorry?
You haven't heard much from Jeff. What you been up to, Jeff?
He can't even hear us now. Look. Oh, God.
The last
There
time.
he is.
Oh, here he is.
Jeffrey.
Speak, Jeff. Oh.
He only has one-way transmission. He can either hear us.
No, he's only got three-way now, Mike. He can't see you, hear you, or speak. Three-way monkeys is.
Yes, Vinny.
Very quiet, Robert.
Last time I seen Jeffrey.
Can't get a word in edgeways, so I just
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah, we should have a separate one, shouldn't we, without George?
Yeah, that's an idea.
Jack hardly spoke.
Right.
Go on, Jeffrey. Say something.
He's not hearing us. Come on, Jeff.
Come on, Jeffrey.
I don't know why he doesn't use Janet's phone.
Nope.
Wash your mouth out.
Because Janet won't let it.
Correct.
Like the three wise monkeys in one.
The last time, Mike, last time I rode past Jeffrey's, it was painting his edge green. He'd run out of jobs, he said.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Are you back, Jeff?
Hello, Jeffrey. We can hear you.
Hello, Jeff.
No, we can't hear him.
You'll have to take some lip reading.
If you can hear me, ask Janet to lend you her phone next week or her iPad.
She won't.
She will. Of course she will. She loves him. Somebody has to.
She loves it.
Nice to see a smiling face.
Yeah. Right. If there's nothing else, I'm going to close this down.
Okay.
Okay.
See you next week, boys.
See you next week.
Hold on, just to test it, I'm going to put the recording on YouTube. So if you search YouTube...
Can you hear me now?
Oh, Jeffrey's back.
Go on, Mike.
Michael, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
That's a long time.
I
Mike's
can't
the one
hear you,
talking.
so I'm going to say, nice lads, have a nice day.
Hang
and
on,
I'll see
Jeffrey.
you
Jeffrey,
next
hang on a
week.
minute.
He can't hear you, George. He can't hear you.
Right, so I'm away.
Okay.
So I'm going to put it on YouTube as a test, right, before next week. So I'm going to put it on YouTube. So if you go on YouTube later today and just do a search for Ellesmere Port, Men in Sheds, it should be on there.
Okay.
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 All right then.
Right. See you now.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Be safe.
See you, Ben.
Bye.
Good on now.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.